Why, hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your hosting guide, Zollin Ironshield, and today we're continuing our little excursion on admiring the beauty of Middle-earth. Well, I give you a couple historical points here and there as we do it, alright? And this is in the video game RiseToWar. I'm on the emulator LD player, if anyone asks the questions. Yes, it is a phone game, but it's got very beautiful art, and they have the rights to the New Line Cinema movies. So it's kind of cool to see what they did, and their renditions of things. But this is a Numenos. Now, I assume that this has been slightly changed, because if you've seen a Numenos in the past in other videos, it looks a little more epic than this. And I believe the reason it's been changed for this particular game mode I'm in is because it's not technically a capital in this game mode, which is weird a little bit. But we're not going to... I have another video talking about that. I talked about the season I'm in right now, and I explained that. For some reason, they decided to move Arnor south and make their capital Isengard and get rid of Isengard because of a risk board things. Because the game's like a risk board. So again, it's very pretty. You can see there, it's by the lake. The water is actually not really terrible in this game. It's pretty good. Maybe not like LOTR's water. Okay, all right. Hopefully I got a giggle out of some of my longtime viewers. But it's still pretty cool. And it still looks good. It's a little bit broken down because obviously it's a ruin, technically in the Third Age, but very cool. So let's jump over to the Grey Havens, Linden. Now, the Grey Havens in this game are inspired heavily by the movies, if you can tell. I mean, it's pretty prevalent. Before you ask, no, I do not have an option to wiggle my camera like left-right. Okay. But it looks really, really cool. So this is the Grey Havens. I mean, would you live here? Look at that. I mean, remember, this is scaled very down like a little model, but you got little seagulls flying around, and you got all the ships, and I mean, it's really pretty. And then it looks kind of like how they looked when they left, right? In the movie, right? In the very end of the Return of the King. It's really nice. And again, I love the background music, so... But, yeah. And if you're wondering what the names, these are forts, people's forts. So, they name them whatever they want to name them. Any of my, it's Japanese, right? I think so. Can you translate that? Don't translate it if it's something bad, please, in the comments. You'll get, like, banned by YouTube. Alright, I doubt it, though. I bet it's just a name. But you never know. You got some of those players who do try to get away with things, you know what I mean? So anyway, that is the Grey Havens, and you also see the image when you click on them, by the way. I didn't show you this. There's like a little image. You can see kind of the information. You can actually click on it and read it. So like I was talking about with history, we'll go ahead and check it out, because this game, for a phone game, has some pretty impressive history in these little cards. So the Grey Haven, a port city on the northern west coast of Middle-earth, from which the elves take boats to the Undying Land in the far west. Bilbo and Frodo set out across the sea from here, so that they may finally find peace and relief. Beautiful artwork. Look at that. That's art. I mean, it looks a lot like the movie, but I think that's in drawn. So, pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Would you guys want me to take pictures of all of those art cards and like put them on Discord? I will, if you guys tell me to. But only if you tell me to. By the way, here's the art card for the Numenos, which... that's a little bit more accurate of a Numenos. The former capital of the city of the kingdom of Arnor, before the northern kingdom relocated it. Fornost Erin, located on the southeastern shores of Lake Evendim, and set next to the source of the Brandywine River. It has since been abandoned. So yes, if you didn't know, the Brandywine River leaves the Lake Evendim and travels to the Shire. And this game does show that, I believe. Let's see, it would be over here, I believe. Yes. So there goes the Brandywine. And if you actually look at the map, it does actually travel all the way down there. There goes, right there. Brandywine's going between Breland and the Shire. And then technically Brandywine, like, winds its way all the way to the sea down here. So, that's kind of cool. So, real quick, since I didn't show it in the previous video and didn't really think about it, let's just look real quick at the other cards here. So we have Rivendell. Rivendell, also known as Imladris, if you didn't know the elven name. I think most of you probably know that if you've seen the movie. But is an elven city located in the western foothills of the Misty Mountains. Governed by Lord Elrond, I'm going to add words, it has long been hidden, I think that's a little respectful, we need to put a lord on there for Elrond, refuge of free peoples during times of trouble. It is also close to the High Pass through the Misty Mountains to the east, and, as such, stands guard over it. I love their art. Look at their art. It's awesome. Okay. So now with that, we'll jump to the last few things that I kind of showed you and then realized I didn't really show you the art pictures that came with it, so we'll do it real fast. We have Khazad-dûm, later renamed Moria, the lost kingdom of the Dwarven Kingdom, is an abandoned cave system under the Misty Mountains as the only known source of Mithril. Only known source. And by the way, I'm sorry, the Rings of Power Mithril story is horrible. And I hate it, but okay, that's a little strong, Zollin. It came out a little strong. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make anyone run away. There's stuff in the Rings of Power I enjoyed, but that was not one of them. For like 5 reasons. There's something that breaks Tolkien's lore, there's something that goes against what Tolkien pushes, and then there are things like, why is that even a thing? Lightning bolt hits a tree with a Belrog and a high elf next to it, and that somehow fuses their essence into the ground that makes Mithril, and they then need as a life source to save people, or else. Which, by the way, is not the reason Arwen is dying in The Return of the King, if you think that. Just for my maybe newer to the lore people. She is a half-elf, and she ties her fate to the world when she gives Aragorn the even stuff. But anyway, moving on. As you guys are like, whoa, we're going all over the place in the lore here. As the only known source of Mithril, the most precious metal of Middle-earth, Khazad-dûm was a fascinating rich realm. It was home to the Longbeards, descendants of Durin, until they dug too deep and awoke an ancient... I like that they didn't put greedy like they did in the movie, because that was mean. It just made the dwarves sound like it was their fault. The elves were the ones that knew the Belrog was there. That's a meme. It's not really the case. And awoke an ancient evil that ultimately drove them away. And then we have here, before them and on either side, stretched a huge empty hall. Its black walls, polished and smooth as glass, flashed and glittered. The Fellowship of the Ring, Book 2, Chapter 4. That's cool. They even have a quote in there. But again, very cool. I'm sorry, I kind of went a little bit ranty there with the Rings of Power thing. And then before I forget, we'll just jump over and see Durin's Tower's art real quick as well. All right, beautiful art, which actually, if you notice, resembles, again, the movie quite perfectly, because they have the rights to it. An ancient dwarven tower that was built at the summit of Zeraxgil. That's a very fun word to say. Which means Silver Spike in Dwarvish, and is one of the 3 mountains of Moria under which lay the kingdom of Khazad-dûm. Durin's Tower was carved 3 mountains. There are 3 mountains that Khazad-dûm was underneath. It's such a big city and realm. Durin's Tower was carved from the rock of the mountain itself and could only be reached by climbing the endless stair from the depths of the mines below. And I will make a quick historical quip there for the end. It actually starts at the Foundations of Stone, it's called, near the abyss, this lake, that there's a lot of very scary things down there that Gandalf didn't even want to deal with, but thank goodness the Belrog kind of scared off as they fought. So anyway, that's about it, and again, I showed you this in the other video, but I'll just jump to it real fast, just so I don't forget to show you in the next one. We have Dol Guldur, a twisted, foreboding fortress that stands the bare hill of Omenlak. It is not known exactly what evil fills those halls, only that it grows even stronger. And who said this? I want to see which voice I do this in. There lies the fastness of southern Mirkwood. In the midst, upon a stony height, stands Dol Guldur, where long the hidden enemy is dwelling. We fear that now it is inhabited again, and with power 7-fold. Alright, the Fellowship of the Ring, Book 2, Chapter 6. I think Gandalf is the one that said that in the book. So, hopefully my voice was fine. But look at that art. Very cool. Also, little side note for another historical thing. Galadriel brings down the fortress with magic, so she's a pretty amazing magical character, even though magic is very subtle in Middle-earth. It's clearly there, but it's like not overused as a magic system. I think Tolkien made it. He didn't want it to be a crutch, is what he said in one of his letters. So I think that's pretty cool. But it's definitely there. It's definitely there. But with that, my friends, have a great and wonderful day in Middle-earth. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Sorry, a couple things there, but I think it was fun. I had fun. Have a great day. Thanks to my Patreons. If you enjoyed, subscribe, like, leave a comment. What's your favorite location? Would you like to see more of these? Would you like to see those cards? Let me know. Next episode over there, and over there's LOTR Tale, where I do voiceovers in Lord of the Rings Online MMO. Stay happy, my friends. I'll see you in the next episode of Voice of the Rings.